Hi, and welcome back to Daily Planet. I'm Dan Riskin.
And I'm Zaya Tong. If you're just joining us, it's day one of Road Warriors Week, but our eyes are on more than just the road today. First, the Salt Flats in Utah. Vast landscape of blue skies, white sand, and not a living thing as far as the eye can see, except that is for speed racers.
Right, once a year, it's time for the Utah Racing Association's World of Speed event. It's one of the few on the planet where the driver is racing purely against a clock.
That's right. Jay Ingram recently made the trip there and found that it's a unique piece of American culture, a place to showcase emerging technologies and slick wheels. Think of this as Jay's Bonneville Salt Flats racing primer.
I'm here at the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah. Coming up on Daily Planet, we are going to see this beast of a car try to go more than 200 miles per hour. This is the salt of the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's hard, it's flat, goes about as far as the eye can see. And you know, racing here is a pretty simple matter. You race against time, you race against yourself. This is a Daily Planet exclusive look at a racing team that has brought this car here for the very first time. They call themselves Salt Cat. The Bonneville Salt Flats can be one of the quietest places on the planet. This is not one of those times.
This is where all the action is.
It's day one of World of Speed.
The salt is as hard as I have seen it and I've been dragging the track for over 20 years. It is a little bumpy, however.
These drivers won't let a little bump get in the way. This is an American tradition, and some of them have big ambitions for the meet.
All right, let's go racing.
It's really the last bastion of amateur motorsports. There's no major corporate sponsors. Most of these guys do it on their own dime.
It's in your blood. It's just what you want to be. Who can be the fastest?
I've got a 1350 partially streamlined Hayabusa, and I'm hoping to run in the upper 220s, maybe a 230. I'm running on a 218 record.
The amazing thing about this event is the incredible variety of vehicles. So you've got this monster diesel truck, but right over here in line to take off pretty soon for a test run is this thing that looks like it came from the space age. World of Speed is a showcase for ingenuity. Anything goes.
Where do you see my real ride?
Well, not quite. Cars line up one by one, ready for inspection.
Well, let me just check everything.
We make sure all their fire systems are armed, all their seat belts are tight.
Okay, lap belt.
Their arm restraints are on.
Pretty tight in here.
Brigham Young University's electric Bullet is followed by a classic Bonneville Lakester.
In the early days, they would take old aircraft drop tanks from World War II airplanes and would take these aluminum tanks and have put wheels on them, and that was the original Bonneville Lakester.
Each vehicle is unique, but the goal is the same: go fast. So this must be the biggest vehicle running around here these days?
Absolutely, it's definitely the biggest vehicle around.
How fast can you go in this?
It's been 228.8. That's the record that it holds right now.
One first mile, 2 more miles to do it. 228 is what they're looking for here.
That's miles per hour, about 4 times the speed limit on a highway. Not bad for a diesel. At Bonneville, each car goes out alone. Some get a push start. It's not about traction, it's about momentum. The salt bed is challenging.
It's not like driving on an asphalt road. It's really more like driving on snow or sand.
They don't reach top speed until they're well into the course. The vehicle trips a timer at marker 2, then again at markers 3, 4, and 5.
Last mile, 209.220.
Officials in the timing truck register the top average speeds between the markers. There's no way they'll let me drive one of these hot rods, but I do want to get behind the wheel to see what it feels like. This is not like the van that I generally drive.
And that's where you got to do the shifting and the parachute.
Do you do anything with your feet?
There's a clutch, and
So
somewhere in the middle is a brake. But you don't need no stinking brakes on Bonneville.
I'm not pushing any pedals.
It won't do anything.
Now you're in forever.
You could get a little claustrophobic in here, you know. Even seasoned racers find it nerve-wracking.
You can hyperventilate pretty fast when you get down inside and close the cockpit.
You know what? I'd hyperventilate even if the engine weren't running. Just sitting in that cockpit. If a driver doesn't make it down the track on the first go, he'll be back.
Now we'll run it again.
No, they're usually taping up a testicle sack or maybe somebody's arm on or something like that.
He's a doctor by trade, but they never give up. They'll go back to the pits and pull the body off of it and see exactly what's going on and try to get it fixed and get back in line again.
As long as there is salt on the flats, this fast crowd will be back tomorrow to do it all over again. Hey, Doug.
Yes.
You're going to be driving this vehicle, eh?
Yes, I am.
So tell me first, you've done land speed records before?
Well, yes, we have another car. It's a 1984 Jaguar XJ6.
Yeah.
And it's powered by a 1947 Buick straight 8 engine.
Wow.
And it's turbocharged, intercooled, and fuel injected, so it puts out some horsepower. And
Now, a Jaguar, I think I might recognize. I'm not going to see something like this on the street.
well, this was just kind of the next step in our progression.
Yeah.
We wanted to test the limits of the engine and the limits of our technology as it will.
Can you show me the engine?
Unfortunately, it's buttoned down now, I believe.
Oh yeah. So it's back in there.
Yeah, the engine's back in. The engine is back in here,
Yeah.
but it's all buttoned down, so I can't get to it.
Okay. And this is where you sit.
This is where I sit in here. It's
And looks like, tight fit.
it's relatively tight. Anybody with any shoulders broader than mine won't get in. With my driving suit on, it's tight.
Now, in that other car you referred to that has set records, it was a 1947 engine.
9 records.
What's the engine in this one?
The same engine. We went back home after Speed Week, and we transferred the motor and drivetrain, the transmission and engine, to this car.
So you've got this ultra modern, super fantastic chassis and an engine that's like almost 60 years old.
That's correct. And
Wow.
it's nice to be able to show how technology has progressed and be able to take a design. It was actually designed in 1931.
Wow, that's fantastic. So have you run this car before?
No, this is our first run, and it hasn't been tested. We started it in the shop. We started it here.
Yeah, it started.
It started and it ran, and it didn't have any unusual noises, and we haven't dyno tested it. We just got it back together from after Speed Week.
Yeah.
We came home and had to transfer everything over, so we only had like 3 weeks to change everything. So
Wow, that's not very long. So, okay, so the engine now, but have you run this vehicle, like this chassis?
no,
with
this
a different
chassis,
engine?
we purchased this chassis from, it's a Mike Cook chassis. Mike Cook is the one putting on the special event that comes after this. Well, he built the chassis for, the car was originally a group called Got Salt, and they'll be running, I don't think they're out here today, but they'll be running throughout the years with their new car, which is just a longer version of this one with some refinements they've made on it. And this we bought from a gentleman named Lynn Goodfellow, who operates a car called a Streamliner called the Mormon Missile. And he powered this and then his new car with a Duramax diesel.
Jeez, you guys are amazing.
And so we just took this and converted it. We had to add 18 inches in length to the wheelbase back here. We had to stretch it, and then we added 3 feet to the tail, and that's where we.
So what are you hoping to do this week?
First the shakedown pass, and to get my license upgraded to hopefully the 200 mile an hour level, and that's the top license I'll need for this chassis. We hope in the end it should go about 250 to 260 miles an hour.
That will be spectacular. When's that happening?
When I'm comfortable with the chassis and I'm comfortable with driving the car, then we'll go for what it can do. Well, until then, it's a learning experience for me. It's a learning experience for the crew, and
it's experimental. A little.
Everything out here is experimental.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about out here, it's a run what you brung, break what you brought. I mean, that's people come out here. They spend all winter. It's a long winter in Montana, by the way. And
we're Canadians. We know about long winters.
Well, we started this project. We rolled it out of the trailer after we bought the rolling chassis. Rolled it out of the trailer, January 23rd, and 3 months later to the day on April 23rd, we fired the engine. So then it took a little for details after that, but essentially it was a 3-month changeover in our shop, and our shop is relatively crude compared to a lot of the big name teams and stuff.
This doesn't look crude to me at all.
Well, you know, we work with chop saws, hole saws, and drill presses, and a lot of the other big teams work with CNC mills and all the electronic design stuff. And
what's the chassis made of?
It's made of a mild steel tubing. It is, I believe, 1 5/8" tubing on most of it, and then it's 1 3/4", I believe, on the driver's roll cage for strength.
Right.
And they change the diameter in different spots.
So is it pretty light?
No, weight is your friend out here.
Huh.
So the engine itself weighs 900 pounds.
Wow.
And we can tell even after we got everything on the car, just towing the trailer.
That you
which at some point you'll have to stop back at the pits and check out the trailer.
Oh, okay.
It's a 1951 Spartan Aircraft Company trailer. It was built as a mobile home back in 1951. They started after the war. They had an aircraft company that built planes for the government.
Yeah.
And after the war, there was no planes to be built, so they didn't want to go out of business. It was J. Paul Getty at Getty Oil. And so they knew all the military people were going to be coming home, so they started building housing. And it's all aluminum, aircraft riveted just like an airplane. The belly pan is all aluminum.
Wow.
And somebody cut the back open, and this car rolls in.
Neat. Now, you say weight is your friend here?
Yes.
On the Salt Flats? Why is that?
You need the traction and for stability, and you're not trying to accelerate like a drag race. So you don't have to accelerate the weight. Once you get the weight moving and get to the 1 mile marker, you're pretty much up to speed. Then the weight helps the stability of the vehicle.
Cool. Well, good luck. We're looking forward to watching you run.
No, we're looking forward to having the shakedown and getting everything wrung out. And
we'll talk to you after the run, maybe.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Doug.
And if I don't know if we'll be back in the pits after the run, but if you're out there, you'll see the trailer. You won't miss it. It's in the front line.
Okay. And so, who designs the shape of the vehicle to make it as aerodynamic as possible?
Excuse me. Mike Cook, again, has his own ideas of that. Everybody has their own idea. When you start looking at things out here, you'll see that's the nice thing about here. It's not like if you go to Indy.
Right, and everything's kind of the same.
Everything's kind of the same, and it has to be within their rules. Out here, it's whatever your imagination could come up with. You'll find passenger cars out here powered by motorcycle and snowmobile engines.
So is there anything special about the tires?
These tires are a M&H Race Master, basically they're called a front runner for drag racing, and they've actually had the tread shaved off of them because every extra ounce of tread, the centrifugal force tends to pull the tire off the wheel or pull the tread off the tire. So they shave them down to absolutely nothing so that they don't have any mass to try and pull off of the wheel. Wow. But they're rated at well over 200 miles an hour.
Well, I hope so, because that's what you're going to be doing.
Right. And then the tires back here, these are a special Bonneville tire, and these are hard to come by, and they look bad and everything, but they are not.
Now, why are they special? How are they special for Bonneville?
They're made very lightweight, so they don't have any centrifugal force again.
Yeah.
Anything trying to throw it off the wheel, because the tires actually will grow off of the rim at speed.
Wow.
And so they build these tires occasionally. They don't build them all the time. Some of them you have to get on a list, maybe a year ahead of time, to put an order in for the tires, and then they're about $800 a piece.
I was just going to say they must be expensive if they're that special.
At that limited production, they are. And then of course the hubcaps on both front and rear are made to direct the air past the car as opposed to turbulent air.
Yeah, so you wouldn't want those fancy glittery.
You don't need any spinners or anything like that. The Lakester that we run here, the Lakester class that we run here, the XXO blown gas Lakester, that the Lakester means that it has open wheels.
Yeah.
And that determines it from, say, a streamliner where they enclose the wheels.
And they do that for to try and make it as aerodynamic as
Correct,
possible, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And we could, in fact, we can convert this to a streamliner, which is in the future plans.
Wow.
What we did was, with the other car, is we felt that we could bump all the records up a little bit, and then when we bumped them up, it was like painting a target on our back for people to look at,
Yeah.
and or shoot for. So, and we're attracting new cars into the field by doing that.
Neat.
And we're kind of doing the same here with this.
It's one really nice thing about this is that it seems to be I mean, everyone's racing to set their own records, but it seems like a very sort of good community, cooperative sort of thing.
And that's the nice thing. This morning we had a hose that melted off our air compressor for our shifter, and people next to us dug through their spare parts, found enough pieces so we could put it together.
Nice.
They aren't in direct competition with us, but it doesn't matter out here. If they're in direct competition, they'll still loan you stuff, and we do the same for them. It's the community is just like-minded people that want to go fast and have fun and be safe.
Yeah, be safe's been emphasized more than once.
And if you listen to the starter up here, Monty, he has three things: be safe, go fast, have fun.
Okay, well, I hope you do all three.
We will.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Terrific, thank you.
You
That
bet.
was great.
Have you been
Racing. So we salvaged the little Jaguar off another car.
And so in inspection, what are they looking for?
They're looking for either infractions in the rules or safety problems.
Right.
I mean, they get down to the little things like these joints can come apart,
Yeah.
so they make you put washers on the outside so that arm can't come loose. If the car's been out here for 20 years, they look to see if it's still safe, because the salt will deteriorate them. And we had a good friend last year that pitted next to us. He came back this spring, they wouldn't let him run because the chassis had been out here so long that the tubing was getting thin from the rust.
Yeah.
We'll do a light check on the course, and then we'll be ready to go.
Okay,
So you wanna
we're gonna take our time getting ready here a little bit,
Okay.
so you can run people past us.
Okay, that's fine.
This is our first time with the car,
Okay,
and it's going to be to the 3
Okay.
and turn to the left.
okay.
Hopefully to the left.
How fast you thinking?
Maybe 200. I don't know if we'll go there, but I'd like to upgrade the license.
Okay,
I'm not sure that it'll go that fast, but we'll try.
okay.
So,
As personal experience from having a new car, working up slower is always
that's
better.
that, and
so
that's kind of the plan.
a baby pass wouldn't be that bad of an idea.
And that too.
Just like 150 or something,
Okay,
just to shake
yeah.
it down and make sure everything that
If it all, we're just hoping it'll feel good to us before we
yeah, that's the ultimate thing.
have fun.
Got to be comfortable before
Be
you
safe,
can really
have
stand on
fun,
it.
go fast.
Yep. Okay, they're gonna take their time and then they're gonna move in when they're ready. Okay, so go ahead and move them up.
Yeah. Okay, anything we need? By the way, this is Frank Morris, the crew chief, and this is Robin Morris, his wife.
I'm the other half of this nightmare.
He's the other half
I've
of the
been
nightmare.
putting up with this guy for a lot of years. We're
I can't
best
believe that
friends.
you guys have been doing this for 53 years.
Well,
You must have
I've
started
known
when they
each
were
other.
two.
They've been friends for 53 years.
And building various
We
projects.
started drag racing in the mid-60s. Is what we started doing together, and we've been racing off and on different kinds of crap all our lives. So, you know.
And no signs of stopping.
No. This is a move up for us.
I'm 68 this year.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you how difficult. I mean, how does it handle, or do you have to handle it?
I'll find out in about 15 minutes.
I'll get back to you on that, yeah.
Yeah, the Jaguar we had handled well, so you know, this is a lot longer wheelbase, so
Yeah.
you know, we're expecting it to just go straight as an arrow. The guy that had this chassis before us set a record with a Duramax in it, and he said he had put his grandmother in it. So we're taking him.
Yeah, well, maybe he wasn't all that fond of it.
Well, that's just what we said. We hope he liked his grandmother.
Yeah.
We hope he liked his grandmother.
Yeah.
They're going to go down after a while and look at the trailer too.
Oh, Lucille.
Lucille.
We call
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's Lucille from
You
Lucille
might be
Ball.
one of the few teams here whose trailer is as attractive as the car.
I know people keep driving by and say, "Nice camper." Want to look at the car?
You remember the movie Lucille Ball and the Long Trailer? That's
Very vaguely, yeah.
You're too young.
That's our.
No, I'm not, actually.
That's why we named the trailer Lucille.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you guys are on tap pretty soon, is that what he was saying?
Well,
As soon as I suit up.
As soon as he suits up and whatever, they'll move us in. They're going to move people past us. They don't want to rush us because this is our shakedown run. And
Right.
We don't want to get him excited or me.
He doesn't look very excited to me.
Well, you can hyperventilate pretty fast when you get down inside and close the cockpit.
You know what? I'd hyperventilate even if the engine weren't running. Just sitting in that cockpit, because the cockpit tells you this is some special vehicle, right?
Well, this engine in our Jaguar, I don't know if Doug told you, went 194, so it's capable of pushing this 250 to 260. But we're not going to do that today. This is
Maybe later today.
yeah, right.
But so you do what you want to do in your first run.
Yeah.
Over the next couple of days, would you push it faster?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
Yeah.
250, 260?
Well, we don't know.
We don't
We're
know.
hoping
Take
See,
it
it's
as fast
better.
as it'll go.
You should come to Canada, because then we can put it in kilometers an hour, and then it'll be over
It would
400.
really sound good.
Yeah, that would sound a lot better.
Yeah, we have a friend from Great Falls that holds the land speed record for a piston-driven car at 417. So.
He's here today. That's a
He's
car.
right over there, that car there.
He's standing over there. He's standing right over there at that car
He
there.
doesn't have his car here. But him and his dad, Bill, and his dad passed away 2 years ago.
He's the one kneeling down and helping the guy buckle up.
So he would just come just because he loves it?
Oh,
yeah.
He doesn't have a car.
Tom Berkeley. Usually his mother comes too.
But he's just really smart.
He's an aeronautical engineer, so he's advised us.
Great guy to talk to.
So do you think there are a lot of other people here who are maybe running something for the first time, like you guys?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of people here that will run, and they'll tell them they're rookies, and they put a little R on their helmet and on the windshield, so the starter and the line people and everybody knows that they're rookies. So if you listen to the conversation when they're buckling them in and up on the line, you'll hear the starter actually talking to them to calm their nerves. I mean that's part of the. And these are all volunteer workers, by the way.
Yeah, it seems really well organized to me.
No
It
money
is.
in this.
No money. And that's why you don't see General Motors out here
Red
or
Bull or something like that.
the NASCAR teams aren't out here, whatever, because there's no money involved. The only money involved is Visa and MasterCard that on the outgoing.
Okay, well,
I think I'll back the truck around, plug it
so
in.
if we wanted to get a shot of of this first run of yours, where would be the best place?
Right at the starting
Right
line.
there at that S.
Right
Right-
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't get beyond that, the S up there, but get my belts
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Okay, we will definitely do
Okay.
that.
And that's the best place. Because then from there on, this is not a real spectator-friendly sport.
Right.
Where we're pitted is the 3 mile. We watch it while the cars go by at the 3 mile, and usually the short course cars pull or shoot there. That's where I'll pull or shoot for this, is at the 3 mile.
Okay.
But it's not.
You're watching it closely.
Would you like this back?
Yeah, I think he'll probably really want it back.
Okay. Annie, there'll probably be a lot of noise in the background. What's the range on your on this?
Not far.
Okay.
But yeah,
But you will be able to hear. I think you will be able to hear the starter giving me instructions and
That
stuff.
would be useful, yeah.
And that's nice. And then my crew chief or be probably at least 4 miles down
Okay.
off to this side. We'll either come back to our pit, or depending if we qualify for a record, I don't know if we will or not, or if we're even going to try. But if we do, because the record is very, very low. But if we do qualify, we may go into the impound area.
Yep.
So we'll either be in our pit or the impound area, and that's where you have to pick it up.
Yeah, we will. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, now I put this arm strap on. Okay, now let me pull you up. Pull this one up.
So is the Jag officially retired now?
Now we'll run it again.
Okay.
Okay, somebody want to look at this? Okay. Got our ass ripped.
What was that all about?
Well, we weren't ready, you know, we're dealing with this filming crew and
Okay. All right. Got both arm restraints hooked.
Do me a favor. When you get to the car down there, you make sure all the cameras are still with it and let us know.
Yeah.
Yes, we sure will. We
Thank
doubled
you.
our biggest.
Okay. Lap belt.
I know they're good suction cups, but okay.
I'll just
Yeah, the sooner we
Okay,
can
you're
know
hooked
if
in
they're
there.
not there,
Okay,
the faster we can get them.
let you know.
Okay,
Does that feel all right?
Our press card after the push card.
Just follow the push.
okay.
Okay, you got your parachutes armed?
Yes, we do. Fire bottles.
Fire bottles are armed?
Yep.
Okay. Do you need time to warm it up at all?
It's warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it running? Yeah, it's running. It is in 4. I got to get up against him here.
Is there going to be a printout for 9991?
Yeah. For the long course with it, this deal.
Just pull it out.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sure it was over 175 and then we could run the long course.
After this run, though.
After this run, they'll print you one.
Okay. Just
Tommy, this one over.
Will they,
Yeah.
do they know what times we did?
Yeah, they would have them over there at the tower.
So does this one goes down and they get the car through and they get a printout, then she'll go back to that run and reprint it.
And
Yeah.
we can pick it up here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go get it.
Yeah, we
What's going on here?
Oh,
What's going
okay. We stop here on the way out to pick up the timing slips, so we know how fast he went through all the different timing points through the 3.5 or 3 mile he went through there. So we stopped here to get it, and they didn't have it ready yet, but they're going to have it here in a second.
What's your gut telling you guys?
What's that?
What's your gut telling you in terms of speed?
It'll tell us how fast he went through.
But
the
what's
thing.
your gut telling you?
Oh, my gut. I have no idea. My gut's turning somersaults right now. I was happy to see it go through. I was upset when the door come open on the fuel tank. But, you know, I'm sure that we'll be able to fix it if it's been all the crap. Because, you know, if he got up around 200 miles an hour, that's a lot of force trying to bend that thing backwards. So.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was throwing up a pretty good rooster tail. So, you know.
Is that a good thing?
No, that's good. That means he's getting up to speed. You know,
so you saw the lid of the fuel tank go?
Yeah, it come open right down there to start.
So does that happen, like fuel tank lid coming up? Is that
well, on this first run, anything can.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. I mean, we're worried about these little cooling doors that we build into the front of it that we have solenoids on to open up, being ripped off. And I still don't know till I get down there to see if they held up. But yeah, the next process is to go down and hook onto it. And if it went over the record water, we'll take it down to impound and then assess the damage and fix it. But if it didn't go over the record, we'll just take it right back to our pit and start working on it, and then go back up and try to qualify it again for the record.
It's kind of nerve-wracking that you can't actually, once it gets up to speed,
when it's out, well, all we rely on is the radio. They announce the speeds through there, but I couldn't hear it on there. I had my window down, I was all rattled up, the lid's open, and
oh Christ, he went over 200 miles an hour.
all right!
Yeah! All right, let's go get him.
Let's go get him!
Holy crap!
Holy shit!
Wow, 196 at the quarter and 20. I can't read it. I have my fucking glasses on.
Holy shit!
See the slip?
Could you read it better?
Wow!
206 right there. Cool. Well, let's go get that.
Let's go get him.
What's the sec? Sorry, where's the point to the 206?
Right there, above my nail.
Doug, that lid come open right off of the line. Well, I figured it would. You went 206 miles an hour. Holy shit. Oh, we'll fix that. Yeah. Well, let's get
Hey,
it
congrats.
You're welcome.
I hear it went really well.
It went well. I had a little problem with fifth gear, getting it into fifth gear, but once I got it in there, why everything pulled fine. We had a little heat damage here on the side from
Can you show me that?
The exhaust heat.
You know, Doug, I don't know if this chain pulled that. No, because it has to pull it
blistered
out.
the paint there and it
Yeah.
blistered there.
Yeah.
They were worried it was on fire, so that when they came here.
Oh, our little doors didn't rip off.
No,
All right.
no, they're fine.
Holy shit.
Boy, there was stuff.
Well,
we were worried about those coming off at the speed, you know?
Yeah.
Are we out of their area? Maybe we need to get on the other side of the cones.
He said we were good where we were.
Oh, good.
Didn't Larry say we were okay?
I thought he said we were
I
there.
thought I heard him say
They'll
we were
stop
okay.
down.
Okay.
I don't think that one will go close either. That was okay.
He's all right.
Karate chop.
Yeah.
So was this the one that flipped up earlier?
Yeah, this is, and it bent the hinge. I mean, that 200 miles an hour was stronger than it.
Yeah, wow, that's it.
That worked as a vertical stable.
How did it handle?
It handled good. It rougher than hell.
But is that because
they said the salt was
salt's pretty rough?
When you've got 90 pounds of air in your tires and no suspension, the only suspension I've got is the flex in the frame.
So
yeah.
let's because we got to get we got an hour to get it back to impound.
We need a parachute bag.
Yeah.
Bucket.
How was the push
Let me think back that far.
I know. I just nailed that son of a bitch as hard as she'd go.
It was.
Did it pull away from me or?
Oh, it would. As soon as I felt like it pull away, I did because I
What kind of RPM did you put? You don't remember? Yeah, you were excited. Shit, how could I ask you? How could I ask you that?
How could you ask me that question? But fifth gear was a little problematic.
Was it?
I couldn't get it in, and in fact, it may have. You have to check the data log, but it may have gone. I might have got it back into third and pulled it right back out and got it back into fifth.
Well, pull up the battery so we can take it down.
Yeah.
So I may have gone forward with it and gone through the neutral gate.
Well, maybe we should see if it'll start.
Well, we hope it'll start still.
Well, I know, but when it bends the push rods.
I don't think I revved it that high.
Oh, I turned the switch off.
Oh.
That's steam. Sounds pretty free spinning to me. Let's, why don't we take this off, Doug, so it'll cool?
It works when you bring it to the modern era.
That's
This
really,
thing here,
really
the-
impressive.
yeah.
Boy.
Considering that the original design of those motors was about 1931.
Yeah.
And actually it is made off of Buick's original 4-cylinder, and they put them together, and they cast them together.
Is that right?
And it maintained that, and that was the block arrangement. You can see that in the block when you look at how it's configured with the head off and everything.
It's like two engines.
It's like the space between the two center cylinders is about that wide, and the rest of them are like this.
Huh.
And it's just because they blended two castings together.
Neat. So what happens now?
We'll go down to impound. Yeah, we'll go down to the impound, and then we have 4 hours to work on it. Once we got 1 hour to get down there, and then 4 hours to work on the car once we check in the impound. Then it stays there overnight, and everything we've got to do, we have to do tonight, or possibly a little prep work in the morning to get it started. And then once we get to up in the morning at like 7 o'clock, they'll parade all the impound cars to the starting line, and they'll all be the first cars to run in the morning.
And the impound cars are all ones that qualified to run tomorrow?
All of them that are ones that qualified for records today. So throughout the day, the different cars that run, the ones that qualify for records will go to impound. They'll check it for, if you will, authenticity. Everything meets the rules and all the challenges of the game. And then once they do that, we will go. We'll go down, and if we make a record run and back up the record we had tomorrow. In this case, if I go over 200 miles an hour tomorrow, I'll qualify for a red hat, probably one of the most expensive hats in the world.
We want to see that.
Although the 300 club is a blue hat, and that's more expensive, and the 400 mile, it's pretty exclusive at the 400 mile club, and that's a black hat. It's cranked up till the foot just almost touches the.
Yeah, so it doesn't drag. There's a lot of weight on this.
It is.
Yeah, it's bringing the truck down quite a bit. It does.
Holy crap.
It didn't move around much.
Good, good.
So it wouldn't go in. It wouldn't go into fifth.
It wouldn't go into fifth. I thought it was in fifth, and I started letting the clutch on it.
That one it was in third. What you had
While I
back
was
in
steering.
neutral?
Yeah.
But the neutral light was on?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I
know. When we get back there,
at that speed, I was honestly too busy watching
well, I
what
know.
was in front of me.
There's too much shit going on. I mean,
Okay, let's go.
Let's go
All
back.
right.
Let's go to impound.
We'll be
Okay,
together in
everything's
town.
buckled down and where we want it.
Yeah.
Can't do anything with that back door
No,
yet.
it's open.
Okay. We'll see you back at impound. Probably expansion.
Ah.
13.
Jeez.
Hey, Dougie, this could be a red hat.
Could be.
Good job, big guy.
Fourth gear's all he had. He couldn't get it in fifth.
One hell of a
Our little
Congratulations, Doug.
Johnny Walker
That's great. It felt
shifted.
good.
Wouldn't put. He couldn't. When it didn't go into fifth, because fifth
Rough.
and third are
Holy
the same
cow.
damn place. If it doesn't, that air cylinder shifted over.
It
I
was
started
like
it,
going
and
down
it
the
didn't
road to
sound
my
too
house.
bad. So we're gonna get the cover off.
Good numbers.
Yeah, he does live on a really fucked up road. That's why he doesn't get anybody to visit him.
That's right. Nobody comes to visit me.
It did. That one seems all bent.
This is Dan Warner, the mayor of Warnerville.
I'll give it to you.
We just got to do that one more time, and then he's going to congratulate me. I'll get one of those expensive hats. That's about the third most expensive hat in the world.
Second one's $10.
This is what I'll be looking for tomorrow.
You can't touch it yet.
I can't touch it. I can't have Dan's hat. He earned his.
Okay, so
His was earned with sweat and
41 years of
41 years of playing out here.
Yeah.
So Dan, is this a pretty exclusive club in terms of who wears these hats?
Yeah, that we have since 1973 when the club was founded. There's just barely over 600 people worldwide that are members of the club. In fact, there are more people that crest Mount Everest every year than are members of this club. And people come from all over the world to attempt to exceed 200 miles an hour here at Bonneville.
You have to go 200 miles an hour, but then you also have to break a record, an existing record. And if you break that record and back it up, then you can get one of those hats.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars that run 300 miles an hour up here, so you have to go over 300 to get a 200 mile an hour hat. Doesn't make sense, but when you've been here long enough, it does.
Then can you get the blue hat at the same time?
You get the blue hat, yes.
They get
And now
two-
we have a new black hat for
The
400.
new black hat at 400 miles an hour.
Yeah, we just inducted 12 members into our 400 mile an hour chapter this year. Yeah.
All right. Well, see, we need fuel. Shouldn't. You know how we skimp on fuel. We buy pistons instead of fuel.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, I think that's fine, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That far.
Okay.
I'll reseal it.
Okay.
You just want to get your fingernail polished out.
Yeah, I do.
See,
I want different color.
You can see,
it had.
you can see we broke the
we didn't
seal on
weld
the
that
tank,
one up,
but
so
he's
he
the
had
man
to
that can
seal that
reseal
one
it
too.
Yeah.
and recertify it so that we didn't put anything in there that would make our car run illegally fast.
They
Actually,
don't blow down the
yeah.
engine, which is checking to see if it has the right cubic inch
Biggest
till
problem
tomorrow.
now.
So today,
see that?
all we'll do is
I can't
just
tell
do
if that's
maintenance on
big
it.
enough or too large.
I need smaller.
Okay. That's my
Screw on it.
That's it.
that should wiggle a little bit. It should come off. There. All right. Yeah. We need to squeeze it this way with something. Is that like
We did too,
is
right?
that like
when
setting
we were
on
running
the
down there, it's
bumper,
like, holy
bumper
cow.
hitch anvil and hit it with a hammer?
Well, yeah, or
Hey, get a big hammer.
just think about because we don't.
See, I can't get it.
Can't even get it back on there.
No, because it hits here first, and then it's
really
too far
bad.
forward also. Unless I can go farther back, I don't think it'll help.
Past it.
Well, maybe.
Is it
I don't know. Just
pulling on back?
Watch your fingers.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to work, is it?
About 50 feet out, or about, were you still hooked? Were you still pushing?
He just pulled away and it popped open. Okay, what do we want?
Short that hinge.
It's moving.
Let's see how far. See how far too much we went.
9997 Bobcat Racing, double XL blown fuel Lakeshore, Doug Grieve driving.
This is them.
85.718. This is away from the start line.
Okay, this is the blown version of the car. It has a supercharger on it now, or a turbocharger, running in the XXO blown fuel Lakester. Let's see, yeah, it's running fuel, or it's running in the fuel class, should say. It was running XXO blown gas Lakester. Now it's running fuel Lakester, and the record in the blown fuel Lakester class is also set by the Hudson boys at 185.718. So that's the number he's after this time.
Of course, it's a 1.5.
Salt Cat Racing, 320-inch straight 6 Buick in this car, owned by Frank Morris and Doug Grieve. Doug does the driving. Frank is the crew chief.
212.090. .307. Deployed slowing at the 3.5. 307 will qualify, Doug, for record return run in this class.
I believe he said
Against the current record of 185.718. Nice run.
216.317 was the official mile time, and that will be a great qualifying time on this 185 record by the Hudson boys.
216.
Never a dull moment.
No, there never is. There never is around this crew.
Way to go.
Huh?
216. We were excited to hear that.
That's cool. It was good if we didn't hurt it.
I'm
So what?
dropping the lucky
Well,
ticket.
hang on one sec.
I
while
just dropped the lottery ticket here.
I'm on now. So what happened?
Not sure right at the moment, but we lost a lot of coolant.
Yeah.
And there was smoke off when the coolant got on the exhaust, there was smoke in the thing. It came forward and came into the cab with me, and when I thought I was on fire. not wanting to take a chance, I hit the fire bottle.
Well, yeah, why? That's probably a good thing to do.
Well, I hit the fire bottle, and so now we just got to go look and see.
Maybe we broke a hose, Doug. It's only 200 now. We better get it off here and onto a tarp, or we get our ass ripped for that.
Yeah.
You got to cover this salt, and you get any liquids on them, they get upset.
Yeah, they get upset if we spill on the salt.
Right.
So we get our tarp under it. But at this point, we'll have to assess the damage. We don't.
Because you just actually don't know what it is. At the
No,
moment.
when I went through the other end, and just before the 3 mile, my hot light came on, and I legged it through the last probably quarter mile, and then as soon as I hit the chute, I had to hit the fire bottle because I wasn't sure what was happening.
Have you ever had a situation like that before?
No.
No. Well, good man.
And this is the.
You handled it pretty coolly.
And this is the third run on the car. For the third time I've been in the car.
Yeah, that's all. That's right.
So,
but still, the car performed incredibly well, eh?
It did. 216. That's going where nobody's gone before. That's on a 187 record.
Record, yeah.
Oh, you got it. Okay. That son of a bitch is hot.
Yes, it is.
Is there anything else you got there?
I think that was the last one. But yeah, that changed the rule book.
Looks like it's been updated a
And
bit as
this
well.
is their third run in it, and every run they made, they've been an impound. So they're getting spoiled.
Yeah, fantastic. It's pretty flexible. They can just change the fuel like that.
Yeah, but they just got this Lakester. The other day was the first time they ran it, I know.
Wow.
Why is it necessary to do that?
Well, we can't run without the fire system charge. They won't let us run again, so we got to get it out and find somebody to charge it. I guess there's people here on the premise that'll charge the bottom. Nice. I think it's gradually tied off.
Yeah, this is the first we did.
There's the kid. It's running well.
There you go. This thing right here screws off, I believe.
Well, wasn't there a set screw in this? Yes, there it is.
That's for the cable.
Yeah, well, that's what we want to get out of there.
This all hooks to this, though.
I know, but I think that all goes to the charging man, yeah. And then you take the nut loose.
Okay.
So is that 9/16?
Yeah.
And then an Allen.
Yeah.
Doug, is this just part of the process when you kind of get to this level?
Not really part of the process. It's part of the one of the trials you go through when you get to this level, I guess is the way I put it. Okay, now see a little Allen wrench.
He set it off, and it's better he was safe than sorry.
1/8 inch. Well, I didn't.
He felt heat on his back there.
It felt warm, but that was because that tank was getting warm.
Yeah, you're right.
Behind me, but the smoke came in, and the smoke has never been in there before. You know, I've never had smoke in the canopy, and that got my attention.
You know what I think that was?
Next smaller one.
I was looking at the insulation wrap laying on the headers.
Yeah.
That shit's plumb brown. It got hotter than hell, that extra boost.
Here's the nut. Here's the.
Yeah, we don't want to lose that son of a bitch. It's probably Chinese thread or something.
Yeah?
Who made it?
Good question. I don't see a brand name on it, but maybe they can tell.
I don't know. Here's the nut you can put back on there.
Cable, if I can find it.
What? I don't know the guy's name, but was he going to help us find one of these?
He's got to see if anybody's got one to loan or whatever.
Oh. Yeah, I don't see any brand name on it either, Doug. Flame Out. It's called Flame Out.
Okay. Okay, now find out the root of the problem. Did I have data log off? Good. I did remember to do that.
What are you up to?
I'm going to take the data off
so we can try to figure out what helped, what all happened on the run.
Venture wildlife, yes, it's a fish and wildlife system. The cable stays out. So
Just like that would set it off.
yeah. And we got a 5-pounder in it. Okay, put
Okay, I need the power on.
Frank, what will this tell you?
This tells us everything that went on with the engine. It's called a data log. It gives us the timing through the whole thing, the temperature of the engine, the boost that we put on it. Yeah. And she's the only one smart enough to run that thing to get it out of it.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Let's see what our earth means are.
Well, this is when he pulled up. That's when he pulled the chute. Oh, and he stuck in the clutch
When he
there.
was talking about the throttle at the end.
Yeah.
You gotta
and-
come from above there, Justin.
Yeah. It's on slow play, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
45,
he
46,
shifted it
47.
Yeah. And he ran it up to, is it 5? Yeah, he shifted
goes
it
right here.
5. No, wait, he
51,
went over it,
51.
5100.
And this one's a little bit lower.
This is third to fourth here.
5,000.
5,000, okay. Now this is the long, hard pull and fit.
Yep. And it was building the whole time, so it's good.
What's the coolant temperature?
Your coolant is 105.
Celsius. Yeah, what did the coolant hit? Shit, there he is at 113.
It's 113.
It's still pulling, yeah. And it's getting hotter.
115.
That's what it was. It puked the water out.
Yep,
It wasn't on
116.
fire.
Yep, it was just water.
116, 118.
But it's under pressure, isn't it?
120. It hit there.
120?
Yeah, that's
no,
248 degrees.
Because of our broken head,
Yeah.
we got the cap loose, so it's blowing pressure into a catch can. Because if it's under pressure, it'll blow the water into the cylinder.
Let's
So
check your
we're-
boost.
What our abused head.
It got up to 120,
120,
which is
248.
248. So that was water puking out.
Absolutely.
I don't think that, not if possible. I've had stranger things.